What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to my list of the top 10 games that I wish I had backed. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Into the AM. Support the channel and get an awesome premium shirt I designed with them by using the link in the description below to purchase Eternal Guardian. From the lopsided crown, wolves, Norse throne, and more, this shirt is spectacular, and you can save 10% off when buying this fantastic shirt. Check it out and many other awesome shirts via the link down below. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. If you appreciate the videos I make every single week for you guys and you can give even $1 a month, there's a link in the description below. Thank you so much. Additionally, I'd like to thank my sponsor for today's video, Skillshare. They've been a long-term sponsor of the channel. It's because I use their service all the time. I have for a long time. I get a lot of value out of it, and I think you will too. There is a link in the description below. The first 1,000 people to either use that link or use my code, The King of Average, will get a free month trial for Skillshare. You'll be able to use all of their stuff. You'll get a ton of info and just really learn a whole bunch. I recently did that with Stephanie Kilgass, Sculpt Your Own Mushroom using polymer clay. I actually searched for sculpting things because I was looking at some terrain for some, to like pimp out my board games, to do some Warhammer stuff. And I remembered I had this clay that I wanted to like make a tree out of at one point, but I didn't really know what to do. So went to Skillshare, searched, what do you know? This lady alone has tons of stuff there, and there's a ton of results. And again, that and so much more is on Skillshare. So again, link in the description below. First 1,000 people to either use that link or my code, The King of Average, will get that free month trial. You got nothing to lose. And if nothing else, you got a wonderful resource for a while there. So feel free to click that below, and let's go ahead and go with the video. Alright, so first up is Cryptic Explorers. This is something I talked about at length. I love the theme. I love the look. It's so dark. It's so dreary. It's so hardcore. And it's so niche that I love it. I love that it's for like a subset of people that like this is just what it's all about. You play as these cryptic explorers, these like cryptonauts or whatever. It honestly looks like it has a wonderful gameplay experience with kind of a dungeon delving where you have like this god that you're going against that has like all these asymmetrical powers, so each one is kind of different, and then it has all these like big zones that you can kind of go through, and your cryptonaut can like spec into a whole bunch of different things. Honestly, there's a lot here. Like gameplay wise, it looks good. Theme wise, it seems totally unique and totally cool, and I never took the plunge, and I feel like I should have. I could have gotten the regular edition for $60, and then I could have deluxeified it with neoprene mats and all sorts of different stuff. $89. I don't know what I was thinking. It looks really cool. Look, this is like baby Quackalope. Look at this. Look at that. It doesn't do thumbnails like that anymore. It looks cool. It really does, and I'm kind of bummed I didn't get it because it looks totally unique, and they're actually getting close to delivery now too. So, I talked about it at length, and I said how cool it was, and I never did. Maybe I couldn't scrounge up the money. I know my Patreon wasn't funding it fully, so I had to do a lot of it out of pocket at the time. So you lose some, I guess. If it comes back on Kickstarter, I'm going to have to back it. So hopefully it comes out again. Shield, the board game. This was one I actually really enjoyed. I did back this, but it was just the digital materials just to kind of show them a little bit of support. And I kind of wish I had backed it more now. So the thing with this one was that my family wasn't like really into it because of the combat at the time. However, my son and I play a lot more games now, and he appreciates a lot closer to what I like, and I will play games like this and actually kind of like it. And I think they spruced it up a little bit too. Not the best combat, that's not its focus, of course. And I think it's probably sufficient. And this is again looking back on it, of course, after all this time, and I've progressed or matured or changed as a board gamer as well. But honestly, with just how unique it is and how cool it is, it would be something I would totally get to the table at least a time or two to play and enjoy. And honestly, if I hit 2 game sessions, I consider it a success at this point, because there are some that receive 0 or only just that 1. So if you're getting repeated plays, that's awesome. And it wasn't even that much either. It's like, what, core pledge is $89, where you can get the scout pledge for $130. Like, that's pretty pricey, especially for the time. But the all of it, $200. That's a pretty cheap all-in. So, yeah, it is what it is, I guess, now. Kingdom Death Monster 1.5. I have Kingdom Death Monster. I bought the Gambler's Chest. I'll get it the same time you guys do in the far-flung future, whenever that might be. Whenever they stop play testing it, I guess they're still testing it. So it's whatever. They're throwing dice. Every day is progress. Whatever. But the prices. Gold Lantern, $350 for all of 1.5 plus a Gambler's Chest. That's really good. That's better than the sale prices we used to get. And then, of course, the Ancient Gold Lantern, $750 is, like just as much as it's pretty much Marvel Zombies. For the Zombicide from Come On. You get the 1.5, you get the Gambler's Chest, and all 12 current expansions. You know how much a game that is? That's a lot. That's a lot of game. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, price wise as well, like that's ridiculous. So yeah, kind of bummed on that. Next up, I have Deliverance, the game of spiritual warfare. Why would I back this? Well, I've actually love angels and demons. It's how they got me on Massive Darkness 2. The little jerks putting that theme. I love that theme. It's why I like Limbo Eternal War so much. I love angels versus demons. It's always been a passion of mine. I remember growing up, I read this book here, this Present Darkness, and it had to do with like modern day times, but you got to see that like spiritual warfare that's fighting. And it was like warfare, like with swords and crap, right? So it's like, Michael and the Archangel, like fighting the armies of demons and stuff. Love it, love it, love it. And that's kind of what this is. So theme-wise, I'm all about it. Gameplay-wise, I'm not so sure, but I wish I had just tried, right? Base game, $60. Like, to me, it's like, this may have been something great, and I just didn't kind of jump on it. And I feel like for that price, I could have. I don't think I would have gone all in, or anything like that. But the theme, it just excites me fundamentally. I think that's super cool. And my father would get a kick out of it. He wouldn't play it, but he would like it. So there's that too. All right, next up, Soul Raiders. This was another one. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. Fantastic looking miniatures. Wonderful art. And this really cool like exploration system that they have going on with the different cards. It kind of reminds me of a more fun looking Tainted Grail, if that makes sense, or like a Seventh Citadel sort of thing, but with a lot more focus on minis, and you get this cool kind of card combat system going on there. And yeah, it just looks fun. It's all co-op, so you're all kind of working together to get through each of these chapters. I forget how many there are, but yeah, it's great. 30 plus hours of adventures. I love hearing that, because the moment you say it's like 300 hours, I'm not going to play all that. I want to see the end of the game. I want to just play the first part and then fizzle out in the middle somewhere. Like that's dumb. So 30 solid hours plus of content, maybe something I could actually have played through, and it looks beautiful and it looks like it might be a lot of fun. And again, nothing. So whatever. Some of the problems, I think, by the way, like when they label stuff like standard, I don't know if I want the standard edition. Maybe we'll call it basic or cheapo edition. Who wants the standard edition? 592 people. 3,000 want the Grimoire edition. Well, it's named better, first of all. Either way, yeah, it looked like something that would interest me, and it did interest me, and I didn't get it. Epic 7 Arise. This was another one where it's like, I didn't end up getting it for a couple reasons, but I really want to play it now, if that makes sense. Again, it's a different type of anime than Madara, by a long shot. And the mobile game was actually pretty fun. The story seems very interesting. And the gameplay here, especially with the little like cute guys and all that, just looks like a lot of fun too. And they had some really unique poses, like this chick laying down there, and then this lady with like the swords coming out there. Had a wonderful looking freaking knight dude. The magic chick is great. I mean, it looks like they did a really cool job kind of making a passion project out of it, and really using the IP to its fullest. And these little guys here, I love the little cute enemies you can have as well. I mean, again, like some of this is just really impressive looking stuff. So it's a very pretty game too, which, obviously I like. So, it is whatever. And of course, the money is like, I have no idea what 736 HK is. So I have it means nothing to me. So that's also a problem with it. But yeah, either way, kind of wish I had gotten it. Core Space Firstborn. Okay, look, my patrons won't shut up about this. It's an amazing game according to them, and I trust them fully. I am sure it's fantastic. And honestly, there are times where I think it looks great. And then times where I think, like, this looks super boring to me. Like, that just looks like a sea of brown and gray. I can't even hardly tell where the miniatures are because they blend into everything. I don't know why they paint it the way they do or why they decide to have the aesthetics that they do. Like this, again, they just blend into it. But they look like this robot dude with the face looks like a cool character. This big guy here looks like a cool character. But then they're put in this backdrop that I just can't get super excited about. But they have other ones too, and those look really good. Like this right here. Like that looks pretty neat. I actually like that one. So there's a few that are really kind of interesting and cool, like the city one and stuff like that. So, regardless though, the gameplay sounds really good. It really does. So I'd love to, I'm going to have to get the fantasy one. I'm sure I'll have to do that. But I need more sci-fi games too. And this does look pretty cool. And I didn't get it. And that's kind of a bummer. And again, €89. I could have gotten that. I could have swung that. I feel maybe not. I don't know. It seems unique enough. And it ended up being something that so many people enjoy. Just word of mouth alone has made it sound amazing. Next up is Hybris Disordered Cosmos. I reviewed this one kind of like Sheol, and kind of like Sheol, or even more like The Great Wall. This is a worker placement game, but with a very cool and interesting aesthetic and a theme to it, and then also a little bit of just more interesting mechanics than just laying down people, and it's not just engine building, if that makes sense. I like the research part of it. That was a big thing for me. This stuff right here, getting your technologies and stuff like that, and the fights are kind of cool too. But I really liked having my little followers around and stuff like that. Again, it's one of those things where at the time, that was a no-go for my group, so I didn't get it. Now, again, if nothing else with my son, him and I could play this and actually really enjoy it, I feel. And plus, I have Brian as well from Game Brigade I could play this with and all that. So honestly, I need to see how many of these he has backed. Brian, if you're watching, let me know. Go ahead and do it in the comments if you want. We'll have to play some of these. Next up, the Isafarian Guard. This was another one. I never dug into it enough to actually get it. But when I was looking at it, when I was seeing it progress and hearing people talk about it, it just seems so cool. The dual minis alone is just so unique and different, and I really appreciate that. But looking at their updates and like the city and going through that, and it just seems like a fun narrative-driven game that I think I would really enjoy. That never did. And again, 1 to 2 players. Guess what? Me and my son, again, we could be all about it. And nope. Instead, I didn't get it. So boo on me. Okay, last one. Sword and Sorcery Ancient Chronicles. This is one that was revitalized recently because of the Tebaru announcement. It's going to be on Tebaru. And it looks really cool on there from what I've seen. But what was a real big point for me is many of you told me I would enjoy this game. They're like, this is the kind of game King of Average would like. This is one that you should play. And I probably should. Looking at it, the theme looks super cool. I'm not totally sold on the art all the time. I'm not totally sold on the minis all the time. But they are cool enough. They have wolves. There's a lot of different styles of enemies it looks like I could fight. It looks like a good dice chucking RPG game that I would enjoy. And so when I was looking at there's the wolves, there you go. The more I looked at them, I was like, oh yeah, this does look like a lot of fun. And again, like simple, $120, boom, and you get it. Now, they're still working on getting this out to everybody. So that's a whole different story. But suffice it to say, kind of wish I had just backed it. I remember covering that, and I still never did. And nowadays, I wish I had. So anyway, that's my list. That's a few that I've kind of every now and then I'll think about it. I'm like, oh man, that was a missed opportunity. I could have played that by now, or I could have been involved in that, or that could be coming here soon. Instead, I don't have any of those. That's kind of a bummer. What about you guys? What is something, it doesn't have to be like a 10 list or whatever, but what's something that you didn't back, and why didn't you back it? That's what I'm really interested in. Either way, that's it. That's my list. Again, Skillshare link is down below. Also that Patreon as well. And if nothing else, that like button. If you appreciate this video, I hope you enjoyed it enough to press that button. It helps out the video a lot, helps me out, and makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. That being said, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. I'll talk to you guys again very soon. And with that, take care.